Hey piano players, Chris here, and in this video we're going to be looking at where you can source good quality church music. And as you'll see, some of this is completely free, which is such a blessing. Now I realise for some of you this won't be as relevant as you may have been playing piano for years in church, and perhaps you already have an extensive collection of music. But even then you might find it helpful knowing about some new artists you perhaps haven't heard about who are writing some really good biblically sound music for the church. For those of you relatively new to the role, I hope this really helps to give you a head start in being able to access some good music. Even when you get the songs chosen for you, there's often a lot of flexibility for you to choose your own arrangements and specific music for those songs. One thing I'd like to say at the beginning is that although you can find a lot of music online, as Christians, we really should be showing integrity when it comes to copyright. As when we use something that we really shouldn't, just because it's church music, that doesn't mean we should just download anything without paying for it if it wasn't supposed to be free. And that's especially true with sound recordings. Fortunately, there's a lot of music that is free, and if you didn't know this already, all traditional hymns are public domain, which is the term that means there's no longer any copyright and anyone can use those. It's not just the hymns though, any music that is over 50 years old is generally copyright free, unless it's been extended, so it's always good to check. So what I'm going to do then is to first give you some links to places where you can get music where you have to pay for it, and then I'll tell you about some places where you can get free music. Okay, here goes then. For music which you would need to purchase, here are some options. The first ones I'll mention are physical books, some of which have a downloadable PDF version as an alternative, and then we'll look at some online versions too. And I'll put all the links to this music below the video. So first up then, there's Hymns of Grace. Hymns of Grace is an excellent and really well balanced collection of church songs compiled by the Masters Press based at Grace Community Church, where John MacArthur is the pastor. Hymns of Grace includes a wide range of traditional hymns, timeless classics, and modern contemporary music, all of which has been thoroughly vetted to be biblically sound and theologically rich. The book has over 400 songs, and they also have the full collection in Pew editions with just words and editions in Spanish too. So basically whole churches can buy these books as their go-to hymnal if they want to use physical books. They also have free MP3 piano accompaniments on the website, which you can download for all the songs. And although these are helpful to get an idea how the song sounds, be aware they're MIDI recordings, which mean they can sound a bit robotic. In other words, I wouldn't recommend using them as actual backing tracks in church. There's a great selection of formats on the website too, from PDF files to loose leaf sheets you can put in a binder for easy turning, and they have everything from piano accompaniments right up to full orchestra arrangements, so there's plenty of options. For most church piano players, I'd recommend the loose leaf edition in a binder or the PDF download version you can purchase. And the great thing is that they've done an entire version with chords over the full notated music, which is such a help for those of us who want to play these songs but prefer to play from chords. For those who might be interested, there's also a newer Psalms of Grace, which has psalms in a more SATB style, but they also have chords printed, which is great. And there's a printout of the specific psalm text along with some commentary, so that may be a good option too. So that's Hymns of Grace, and I highly recommend that collection. I'm actually seeing if I can get some discount codes for my students, so keep checking back, and if I do, I'll put that below the video alongside the links. The next great source of music, but again this is an option you have to pay for, is Getty Music, which is Keith and Kristen Getty, who, as most of you know, have done so much for church music over the last decade or so, bringing fresh music that is also biblically sound. They have links to all their music, offering different formats of music, MP3 downloads, and it also includes other artists they work with like Matt Papa and Matt Boswell, who also have written some great music. Next, I can tell you about G3 Ministries. They've recently put out a new hymnal titled Psalms and Hymns of the Living God. At this stage, there's no chord version, just the SATB, which can still be helpful, and in a later video, I'll be showing you how to add chords to these, so that may be a better option for those who read music and prefer the more traditional style. This also is a selection of both traditional hymns, psalms, and some contemporary worship too, and although you can only get physical copies, G3 Ministries were kind enough to give a 15% discount of not just this book, which has a spiral edition, but anything in the G3 store. So you'll see that info also below this video. Next then we'll look at some of the online music rather than hard copies, and we'll look first at CCLI, which stands for Christian Copyright Licensing International. As the name suggests, this has worldwide coverage. In addition to purchasing music, CCLI, as many of you will know, also assists churches with licensing and tracking usage of copyrighted songs for royalty purposes. There's a separate video on CCLI in this section that you'll need to watch if you're unfamiliar with this. But on the sheet music side of things, CCLI also has the Song Select option, which is a vast catalogue of Christian songs that have been written. But because of the vastness of it, you do need to be very discerning and cautious, as there's a lot of really bad, unbiblical, and even heretical music, sadly, that is on there too. So it's really a resource that you most likely will have to use for copyright administration, but for choosing songs, it's best to just choose songs you already know are okay, or at least choose very carefully. Of course, this is a subscription service, and your church may already have an account, though you need the specific Song Select option to access songs. What's great about the CCLI site is that you can set up a free account and access all the public domain songs. And just like with many of the songs on the CCLI website, you can transpose songs before printing or downloading them. And many songs have several options ranging from full music to chord charts and lead sheets. And often there's an audio file of the song to show you how it goes. In addition to this, there's also praise charts, very similar to CCLI, a wide range again, so discernment is needed. But with this website, you can also get most songs in different keys, and whilst they still offer a subscription service, you can purchase individual songs or credits to buy songs in a way that works out to be cheaper. Then you have access to those songs if you want to change the key at a later date and reprint. The last of the paid options, but by far the greatest deal, is based here in the UK, and it's called Praise Online or Praise UK. Basically, it's a massive database of traditional and modern worship. And for what I've seen, it's mostly very sound music, and it seems that most of the songs include music and chords, and you can also search by theme or biblical reference. And the best thing about Praise UK is that it's only 15 British pounds per year to have access to all this. So it's not far from being free at that price. Check it out if you can. So looking now at the free options, the first one I mentioned, which might sound odd to church piano players, is ultimateguitar.com. And this website basically has arrangements made by the original artists and thousands of other musicians. And so there's almost every song in the world on there, and there's dozens of versions for each song. But these are mostly all chord arrangements, as it's designed for guitar, but that's great for us chord players. Obviously the genres they cover are way too broad for church music, and you wouldn't want to be getting a subscription for this. But what you can look out for is the free monthly trial that they offer from time to time. And this allows you to legitimately download as many songs as you like, and you don't need to carry on with a paid subscription. So that's a legitimate hack for you then, if that's helpful to find particular songs that might be difficult to find elsewhere. That's why ultimateguitar.com is under the free option. Okay, some more great free options then, and I'll group these together as very solid contemporary artists or groups who have put out and are still putting out some great biblically sound and theologically rich worship music. And they all offer chord charts and lead sheets for free on their websites. So here are the organizations that do this, and remember the links will be below for you to get this music for yourself. One important disclaimer, however, is that this music is free for personal use, but once you use it in the church with printed words or PowerPoint slides, it must all be logged and tracked with CCLI like all the other music. It's just you don't have to pay for your own copies to get familiar with the songs and build a personal library. So here are the groups that you can get this free music from. Sovereign Grace Music, which is a ministry directed by church piano player and songwriter Bob Kauflin. And much like the Gettys, Sovereign Grace have brought such a new lease of life into church music, but again with very biblically sound music that is very gospel-centered. On their website, linked below, you'll find many songs, and they're all categorized by theme, key, and scripture, and there's all sorts of arrangements for other instruments and orchestra also. Once you've selected a song, you just scroll down and you'll see all the different free options for downloading. And there's also a ton of other great worship resources you can check out there too. Next up is Alight Music. Alight is a group of writers based in Australia who've written some of the best modern worship music with songs like Yet Not I, But Through Christ in Me, and several others that are very singable but have such theological depth too. All the charts to their songs are free for download, and they include chord charts and lead sheets. There's limited options for different keys, but if you go into the paid websites I mentioned before, you will find their songs in different keys, transposable if you want to pay for that. Or you can watch the video later in this course where I'll help you transpose songs to different keys. So there you have it then. Hopefully after watching this video, you won't feel like you don't have any options to build a good, biblically sound worship music collection. And I'm sure in most situations, your church will have a budget to help you with some of those costs for the paid options. And it's at least something you can discuss with your leaders. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.